This is where I like to talk about waking up every morning and knowing exactly what to do when it comes to managing your business. The first thing you want to do is respond to people in a timely manner. People love to get responded to fast. This also allows you to manage all those conversations. And then I always say after conversations, that's when you go into your opportunities to see your to do. What are you doing? What do you need to manage? Who do you need to work through the pipeline to close and get the sales? Follow up with customers, things like that. So in conversations, there's three columns that you'll see here. The first column is going to be the snippet of the conversation, unread, recents, stars, and all. The second column is actually going to be the contact conversation. We talked about this inside of contacts. Everything in here will show up in that contact. The third column is the actual contact card. So you can click right here and go right into the contact. You can see all the contact details. You can do some instant things like adding them to a campaign, creating opportunities, booking an appointment. And if you look over here, you'll actually see the contact where you can bring this in or take it back. So if you look, there's a little arrow here, you can hide it, or you can bring that contact information back in. You can also book appointments right here. You can also add opportunities here or see what's currently in the opportunity or see if you have a current appointment. When you click the contacts back here, it takes you right back to the contact. This is a really easy way to go in and manage that contact right from the conversations. This is a new expandable feature. I'll go ahead and expand this for the rest of this training. But if you don't see it and you see it like this, that's okay too. Just know you can always expand to get right to your contact details and then of clicking the icon to get it. We've got a lot more features coming into this to bring this in to make it a lot easier for you to access and contact your customer. You'll see the blue conversations and the unread. It automatically defaults to conversations and all of your unread messages. Now remember, I'm always talking when you click any one of the menu items, you want to always look at the top bar because there's other options that you can do. In this particular one, in conversations, it defaults to the conversations in the unread. You also have manual actions, which we'll be going over, templates, snippets, and trigger links. And we'll be talking about each one of these in detail. Being able to do these quick actions when you're following up in your unified inbox makes it so easy to manage your day-to-day operations, your unified communications, whether it be email, text, Facebook, a Google review, Instagram messages, whatever you've integrated into the system is where those conversations are going to show. Let's get started learning everything you need to know about conversations. Let's talk about conversations column 1, the filters and actions. You're going to see a lot of things going on over here. Inside of your conversations tab, you're going to see that you're in conversations and unread. And right here, this would be your first column. So you're going to see unread, recents, any starred, and then all your all messages. So you'll see there's lots of messages in the all. What's most important is being in the unread. You want to make sure that you're actively caught up on every message that comes in. The way to clear out the unread message is always going to be mark it as read. So that way you're always actively responding to the latest message. You can select it in bulk. This is where the bulk action comes into play. And you can select all three of these and you can mark them all as read, mark them as unread. You can star them, unstar them, or even delete. One of the things I like to point out when you're inside of conversations is that should you delete this conversation, it's going to delete this entire conversation. I recommend never deleting a conversation because you never know when you're going to need to look something up. All of the conversations in here always show up inside of the contact tab's conversation. So we want to make sure that we don't delete, but we do want to mark it as read. Again, we can do bulk action. We can do an actions where we select the checkbox and do a quick action, or what we can do, come over here and we can search a name, or we can filter. So using filters, you can easily select a filter. So let's say you want to respond to all of your email messages. You can come down here and select the channel, email, SMS, Google Business, live chat, WhatsApp. Facebook, calls, voicemail, and Instagram. Let's look at the details of the top part of the filters. My chat, meaning you're logged in. If it's assigned to a certain user, we can select a user. All of them that are unassigned, inbound, outbound, last outbound message, manual or automated. You can search. So if you have somebody in a workflow, they're going to show up in here as well, which is really cool because especially when they respond, that's when that shows up and you want them to because you're doing these multiple workflows and you want somebody to respond to maybe a promotion or a newsletter or something like that. So you want to be able to look at your last outbound message, both manual and automated. We just covered the most popular, which is going to be the last message channel. Let's go to SMS, hit apply, and there you'll see your little texting of all the people that have sent messages. Let's come over here and do Google Business. We'll hit apply. This is what your Google Business chat looks like. And this is where you could filter all your Google Business messages, which are really important when it comes to having all your messages in one space. You'll be able to see your live chat conversations, WhatsApp. Let's click on Facebook and hit apply. And you'll see the little icon for Facebook Messenger as well. Let's go ahead and go to calls. You can see any phone calls that were made here. We'll go to if there was a voicemail, you can hit apply, see if somebody left a voicemail, and you'll see the little recorder. Let's go to Instagram and hit apply. And by the time you're watching this video, you could see more. Now, one of the great things that I want to make sure that you remember in conversations is depending on the channel, that's the only channel you can reply to. Remember Facebook and Instagram, it's usually within a 24-hour time frame. So be sure that you're always keeping up to date with your conversations. And we'll go ahead and change the filter back. We'll clear filters right here in the top right, and all my filters are cleared now. We'll go ahead and hit apply, and it's going to bring back all of the conversations that we want to be keeping up to date on. Remember, managing your business is important when it comes to conversing with your customers. The faster you respond, the better the customer service. So we want to make sure that we're always keeping this up to date and clean. And once you're done, just remember you can just select it. You'll see this blue box around here, and I can select mark as read, and that's going to go away. Now we're on to the next message, and we can continue to go. So you can search for a specific person or name, you can filter, or you can create a new message. What's great about this is if I am in a rush, but I want to remember to get back to this person, I can easily star this message as well. I can check the box. I can mark it as starred. And once I mark it as starred, look what happens. I now have a starred message. He's also going to show up in my starred messages. So you'll see I have 2 messages I want to follow up on. And when I'm finished responding to these, I can select mark as read. You can also do a bulk action here. If you didn't mean to star somebody, all you got to do is check the box. We'll go ahead and unstar that message, and then we'll be right back where we left off when we go back to our unread messages. I'm always going to recommend looking at your column 1 first, making sure that you answer all of your unread messages. And don't forget, every message, if you don't delete it, is going to show up in the conversations when you go to the direct contact. This first column of conversations really allows you to focus on time management and responding quickly to customers, creating better customer service, fast response time, and you can even do all of this right from your mobile app. And that's how you use the first column with unread, recents, starred, and all by searching a filter, of course, adding a new message, selecting a box, selecting an action, marking as read, mark as unread, starred, unstarred, and delete. And over here in the far right, you can do mark as starred, mark as read, and delete as well. Let's talk about column 2. Column 2 is where we respond to those messages. Right here, you'll see an SMS or you'll see an email. If you want to respond via text, you would select the SMS or email. Whatever shows up here would be the information that that particular contact provided. If they put in a phone number, then you would see SMS. If they put in an email address, you would see email address. If they did not put an email address, you would only see the SMS. If it was Instagram or Facebook, you would see Instagram here or Facebook here. If it was Google, you would also see review response, responding to your Google review or your Google message. When you select SMS, you can attach a file, you can add emoji, you can insert a template snippet, which we're going to go over here shortly. You can even request a payment. When you select more, this is where you can add what you call custom values. My favorite is to use the contact first name, so that way you always get their name correct. And you'll see when I close it out here, it says first name contact. I can begin to leave my message. The other way that we can respond is by using email. When you select email, the user that's logged in, it's going to show the from name and the from email of the actual user, meaning you. When you're logged in, you're going to see to their email, and then you're going to see an option right here to carbon copy or blind carbon copy someone else into the email. This is great if you're working with more than one person and they also need to get a copy of the email. In order to carbon copy or blind carbon copy, you need to make sure that they are already in as a contact. So if they're not a contact, you want to make sure to go into contacts and add a new contact to make sure that they get CC'd or BCC. You can also type in your subject and you can type in your message right here. Now over here, you have a formatting option. When you select format, you can do bold, italics, underline, select the font, a paragraph, a header. You can add a text color and get really creative. You can easily put in a URL, add it to a new window, and highlight a URL hyperlink inside of your email. The other thing that you can do is add an image, add an emoji, and of course, insert an email template snippet. You can also request a payment, and by selecting more will allow you to add those custom fields as well inside your email. You can easily request a quick payment by putting in an item name, maybe lawn mowing, $100, put the due date, additional options, and then send them a link of that specific quick email. And if you're wanting more than just a quick payment, you want to be sure to check out payments and invoicing to be able to set up those invoices and send those from the invoicing payments area. This is a quick way to put in an item name, collect money, send them a link, and when they click on the link, as long as you have integrated your credit card processing, this brings the money right into your business. You'll also see inside of your conversations, when you have an email, you can select these three little dots. And when you select the three little dots, you can either reply or see the details of the email. When you click on details, you can also see the message details. This particular message was part of an automation workflow, so you can see where and how they got the message. Also, if the message wasn't delivered or you sent a text and it wasn't delivered, it would give you the error and tell you that right here. It's really important to look for those three little dots or any red triangle errors to make sure that your messages are going through. And that's how to use this second column of conversations to reply to your SMS, email, Facebook, Instagram, and attaching, adding links, images, emojis, template snippets, payments, and custom fields. I have to say, this is probably one of my favorite features of the software. And that is the third column, which is the contact information. Now, we talked earlier how you can use the arrow to hide it and then to bring it back to look at your contact. Again, hiding it with that little arrow and going back to look at your contact. What I love about this is you can click on the little icon. It's going to take you right to the contact tab. So you can go in and look at the conversations and do all these activities. Or again, I'm going to show you the arrow back. Let's go back to the conversations and check this out. I can now conveniently talk to somebody right here, have a conversation, and come over here if for any reason it's closed or open. I can click on the contact and I can see the email. If there was a phone number, you can see that I can make a phone call. All the information is right here. I can add the phone number right here. I can easily add an email right here. I can easily assign it to a person on our team. I can add a tag. I can add them to an active campaign or workflow. I can D&D them. Get to contacts. You can go in here and book your appointment by just booking the appointment, selecting your calendar, selecting the date and time. You can add an opportunity, so we can come in and create a fresh new opportunity right here and have it be created to go right into the opportunities. Lots more new features as we begin to expand this, but I love this conversation view, especially from the desktop. I really think you're going to enjoy using conversations because you've got your first column where you can just stay on top of it. You can easily reply to your unified inbox for everyone, and then you can manage that customer, manage that contact, manage that lead, whoever it is, however it is, to effectively manage those conversations and the leads and customers. So we've gone over conversations, column 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to get into the manual actions, the templates, the snippets of your email and SMS, and trigger links. Manual actions are actually related to specific workflows that you would have created in order to have somebody manually do an action. Could be sending out a text or manually making a voice call. And you'll see that when we get to workflows and automations, but you can easily set up a workflow automation that creates a manual action and then brings that manual action into your manual action, which is a to-do list. You can also select to assign that manual action inside of your conversation to any person on your team. Manual actions are set up inside of workflows, and this is where they show up. Manual actions are also great when you have it inside of a workflow to remind somebody or have somebody make a quick call. They're in a certain step in a workflow, or remind them to send a text or do something manually where it's not automated, but a physical person needs to be doing the manual action. And that's why you always want to check your manual actions, because there could be something you set in workflows and you want to make sure that you make that call or return that text as soon as possible. We'll go over manual actions more in details when we get to automations and workflows. Templates, snippets are amazing. You've had it where you've sent those emails over and over again, where you're copying and pasting into the next email the same thing. With snippets, you don't have to. All you got to do is come over here to the green button. When you select the green button, you just select, do you want it to be a text or an email? I recommend doing one of each, one a smaller version for text and one an email. Let's go ahead and open text template, and you'll see right here, we can easily give it a name so you can organize your template so you can easily find it. So if you do a name that says test template, right here is where you can grab your custom values, put in that contact's first name. Remember, you can also add things like appointments, start and times, calendar names, specific campaigns, all kinds of fun things that you can add in here. You can also add trigger links, which we're going to be talking about in the very next video in detail. So all you do is you just put in the contact first name, you put in the message that you say over and over again. You can even attach a file in text templates. I don't normally recommend that. I recommend doing a URL. You can always send a text by putting in your phone number and sending a test to see what it looks like. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save. And then if I were to look for my template that said test, I could easily find it. And then I could create an email saying the same thing with a subject line test. I can come in here and I can even add a value, contact first name, put in whatever I want in the email. I can even add an image, a hyperlink, and format. So if I want to make this be a little bit bigger and then I want to put some text in here, I can easily come in here and change the look and feel. So I can come in here and I can create a header right here. I can also do bullet points. You can get pretty creative, even by adding an image. You can easily upload an image right here by selecting the upload image, or you can put in a source for the image in here as well. Once you're done in email, yes, you can definitely add an attachment. Keep in mind, you want to keep things within 2 megabytes to 5 megabytes, not a big, large file, so it doesn't run into the spam. You can also send yourself a test from your email address to your email address and save. And you'll easily go into your conversations. You'll come back to your SMS and you can select right here, insert template. And when you go to find that template, you would just find the template, select the template, and use the template. You can also go to email. You can do the same thing. Insert template, come in here, find the template that you just created, use the template, and there it is, right inside with no extra work. I definitely recommend using template snippets for your text and your email on the things that you say over and over again to save yourself a lot of time. Now let's talk about trigger links. I want to show you 6 important things when it comes to creating and using trigger links. First, we're going to create a trigger link. Second, we're going to create a custom value trigger link. Third, I'm going to show you how to add the trigger link to your email and SMS snippets. Fourth, we're going to talk about adding the trigger link to your email campaigns. And the fifth one we're going to cover is how to use your trigger link to trigger an automation or workflow. And the final one is viewing your trigger link analytics. So let's get started. The first thing that we need to do is we need to create a trigger link. Some ideas for trigger links could be Google reviews, Google instructions, maybe your social profile. A very popular one could be going to your calendar or even an unsubscribed link. Let's go ahead and create a link. All you've got to do is come into your marketing, your trigger links, and click on Add a link. When you click on Add a link, you want to give your link a name, and then you want to put in the URL for the name. Let's do a calendar, and then we'll take the link of the URL of the calendar link, and we'll add the URL to our trigger. And there we have it. We now have a trigger link for the calendar. And you can easily search your trigger links because as you start to use these, you're going to have more and more. So you'll see right here, I search the calendar, and here's my calendar and my trigger link. At any time, you can always edit your trigger link or even delete your trigger link. Now that we've created a trigger link inside of trigger links, I want to show you how to create a trigger link also using custom values. The reason why this is important is because a lot of times you might have promotions. Maybe you have promotions that are going first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, in which case I would go to your settings. Let's go into your custom values. And inside of your custom values, this is where we would create a new custom value. Again, we can give it that name and we can put in our link here. Then you hit create, and now I have a custom value for the same link. Let's go in and search this. And when I search the custom values, you'll see the calendar name, the custom value key, and the value, which is the URL. So we can easily copy this right here. I'll go ahead and hit copy. Let's go back to our trigger links, and we'll go back and the link, and I can paste the custom value link there, and I can call this calendar, paste into the URL. Make sure that you don't have any spaces before or after, and then hit save. When I select to look for the trigger link for the calendar, I have a calendar link that has a custom value and a calendar link that has a link to the URL. Creating custom values is really valuable when it comes to being able to just go into that custom value and change it and update it. First quarter promotion, second quarter promotion. Using custom links is great because that custom link can be easily changed without having to add multiple links. Now that we've got the trigger link set, now what we want to do is we want to go to our template snippets. Now the snippets, these are the quick ones. So we can add a quick text and a quick email. When I create a text snippet, we'll call it calendar. Here is my calendar link. And so this is my text. Now here's the interesting thing about text. Normally in an email, you can highlight and add a hyperlink. In text, all you can do in the text is go to your trigger link, look for the calendar link that you just created, and you can add the calendar link, and it'll create a link that goes right to your calendar. It will show that link because that is how it has to be done in text messaging. It's got to show the link inside of the SMS. So once you add your trigger link, then you can send a test or save and make sure that your trigger link is working properly. Now let's go into setting up an email template. And this is an email template snippet. So if I wanted this to be my calendar link and I wanted to say, here's my calendar, and I did the same thing, contact first name, here's my calendar link. What I could do in this one is highlight my calendar link, come over here to insert edit link. And when I click on the link, I can come all the way down here and you'll see the text to display, which it says, here's my calendar link. And then I want to pull that calendar link from the link list. So we would go to the calendar link, select OK, and in which case they don't see the link, they can only click on it. Once you save it, you'll have it in your message template snippets, and you'll be able to easily use that when sending that quick on-the-go mobile text or email. Now let's go into the email templates. Email templates are beautiful templates. We have a header, we have a footer. Let's go ahead and open this email. Now remember, we talked about custom values. So if you created a link using custom values and you created a promotional email here, all you'd have to do would be update the promotional link, and you can leave your summer, spring, fall, and winter promotions and just change the link inside of your custom values. What we'd want to do here is we're going to highlight any kind of word that we may use. Maybe it's also directions. We could type in directions. You need directions to our location, or it's the promo link inside of the email. Once you type in your word, what we're going to do is we're going to come over here. We're going to hit the text link, and you'll see right here, text to display, directions, and right down here where it says link list, this is where we would come in and we would find the link list. It creates a link URL, and we hit save. All we've got to do when we want to edit this is go into either our trigger link or our custom value. Another popular use case is your unsubscribe. This is very popular, and I really recommend creating a trigger link that goes to an unsubscribe page on your website. So when you go to the website, I can still track the links when it comes to people clicking it and see if they unsubscribe. All you've got to do is highlight your unsubscribe, select your link, select the trigger link that's named unsubscribe that you created that goes to the page of your URL, and hit save. When it comes to setting up automations, you can use a trigger link to set up a trigger automation. So let's create a workflow. When you create a workflow, just create a workflow from scratch, and we can call this our unsubscribe workflow, or we could call it our directions workflow, or we could call it our promotional workflow. This is where you create different workflows based on triggers or your custom value trigger link. So you would give your workflow a name, and what we want to look for is trigger links, and we'll see right here, trigger link clicked. Now, keep in mind, when we create our workflow, we haven't told it what trigger link, so we want to make sure that we don't leave it here. So we want to add the trigger. Let's select the trigger link. Then we select the trigger that we were looking for. Promo 1, 2, 3, 4, calendar, directions, or whatever it is. And then you just save your trigger. So if somebody clicks on this link, we can then add send an email, send a text, and you can create an entire workflow right from that trigger link. Now, the last thing to look at when it comes to trigger link is your analytics. This is going to allow you to track specific customer actions and trigger events based on when they clicked the link. So you'll see the trigger link name, and you can see how many clicks were there. So you can select the date range here for this month, last 30 days, this year. Select that to analyze the data based on each promotion. So for example, if you were using the promo 1, 2, 3, 4, you might want to track and see how many people are clicking on your trigger link from that promotion. If you're using calendar booking, you want to see how many people are clicking on the calendar, maybe how many people are clicking on to get directions or other trigger links that you created. A quick recap: 1, creating a trigger link; 2, creating a custom value trigger link; 3, creating a trigger link email or text snippet; 4, add to your email templates; 5, using trigger links to trigger an automation; and 6, analyzing your triggers. I want to show you a few areas where you can use conversations inside of your software. So you jumped into conversations, you feel good about 1, 2, 3 columns, the conversation being the middle column. Don't forget, the second place you can go see all of your conversations is in the direct contact by clicking on the button, going right into your contacts, and seeing conversations right here. Those are the 2 places to manage conversations. Now, I want to show you some other features when it comes to conversations, and one is working with Conversation AI. You're definitely going to want to take this course, but with Conversation AI, this allows you to have your AI, your artificial intelligence, respond for you in these channels: your SMS, your Instagram, Facebook, and your chat widget. So you can select your supported channel and select where you'd like these automated AI responses to come from. Remember, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, all those require a 24-hour response time. So from the time somebody messages you, using Conversations AI is pretty important in helping you to respond to those Instagram, Facebook messages pretty quick. Now, the final place that you'll see your conversations is going to be in your automations and workflows. One of the things I love about this is when you create a workflow, and I'll just start from scratch, your trigger can be based on a response. So you can do a form is, we can do reply channel. So right here where it says customer replied, when you click on this, you'll be able to see filters that allow you to select the replied channel. Right here we can say replied channel, and look at this. You can set a workflow based on somebody replying to any one of your channels. So if somebody makes a call, you can create a workflow based on that call. You can create a chat widget, an email, a Facebook message, a Google message, an Instagram, and an SMS. Coming in here and setting up your Facebook Messenger, calling it Messenger, and then you can have your response to Facebook Messenger. Here's my message. So you can go inside and you can say message name. You could select any template, or you can create a brand new message. When it comes to working with workflows, you can also do voice, email, SMS. You can create a manual action where if somebody responds, let's say to a text or a email, and they left you their phone number, you can set that manual action right here, or you can set actions to actually make the call. So again, lots of great things that you can do when it comes to setting a trigger in workflows. There's your Instagram DM. So if you set your trigger to somebody messages you from Instagram, then you can send them back an Instagram message as well. You can do Google just by typing in message. You can see your Facebook Messenger and respond to a Google message. So you can create workflows for one being the trigger for your Google business, another one being for your Facebook, another one being for your Instagram, and set the response to those messages right inside of workflows. And that's how you can use conversations inside your software to create conversation AI workflows, and then manually conversing inside of your conversations with your customers directly.
Oh, it looks like we made it.